All right, folks, Tim here again from High End Cheap Tech. Today, we're going to get a little off our normal subject matter, even for a Sunday morning rant. Although it does apply, it is technical info. You are going to hear some words in here like ignorant, stupid, dumb, uninformed, gullible, and liberal left-wing wacko. I shall try to avoid too much of the political end of it. But let's just get to the intro. I'll explain what all those words actually mean. And hopefully I won't offend too many people, but if I do, please check your Constitution. You don't have a right to not be offended. If you are, I don't give a damn. Let's get to the intro. So after the intro there, I had to calm down and I went and shaved my face, and freshened up a bit, and now we're going to talk about some of those terms. You know, we all start out life ignorant. It means there's nothing in the tank up here. It's not offensive to be called ignorant. If you don't know about astrophysics, well, then you go learn about it. Now, if you're dumb, you can learn about it, but not be able to apply it, and therefore, or ballistics, maybe you can't become a rocket scientist, no matter how good a grade you got in college, because you can't apply that knowledge. Gullible, okay, simply comes down to, P.T. Barnum said it, there's a sucker born every minute. Don't buy everything you're fed off the internet. Don't ever listen to me about cell phones or computers until you research a second source or a third source. Make sure you check multiple sources, because that's what I do before I ever talk about them. So we've got that covered now. And you might hear a few cuss words in here when I get to some of the stuff. And you might hear the term liberal left-wing wacko. And if that describes you, well, then you're one of them suckers born every minute. So things to look out for on these health videos. The shape of your antennas for 5G. Really? The shape of the antenna matters. I mean, the shape of the original cell phone antennas was different because it's a different frequency band, and it just necessitates those shapes. And there's a wide variety of those, even depending on the company and the frequency bands they use. Okay, so that's misinformation number one. Misinformation number two. In this video I watched last night, this woman went on and on about they're using ultra low frequencies. Okay, 5G, real 5G, not the AT&T 5GE they're selling you, which sits between 600 megahertz and 6 gigahertz. That's basically using the 4G band, the LTE, and it has much longer range. It doesn't get absorbed as easily, and it can pass through your house and through your windows, and you get reception. AT&T's just set up their newer phones, so it says 5G. It's a sales point. It's marketing. It's BS. Ultra low frequencies are like your voice doesn't even qualify as an ultra low frequency. Ultra low frequency is picture waves. You're at the beach and a wave comes in, and then a minute later another. That's an ultra low frequency. It's how frequent something happens. And then they go on to, go, and they're using millimeter waves. Millimeter, oh, it sounds dangerous, because they measure bullet calibers in millimeters. Well, they measure a whole bunch of shit in millimeters, folks. Get over it. It's just how close those waves, the top of them, are together. And they're, say, millimeters apart. And considering that wave is traveling through space, time, the air, at 286,000 miles a second, for something to be that close together, there's a lot of them. Yeah, it's like 24 or 26 gigahertz. That's billion cycles per second. Billion waves per second. to 86 gigahertz. It is by no means low frequency or ultra low. So if they're feeding you this crap, quit watching right away. They don't have a clue what they're talking about. Next item, they'll use terms like, and this one is what really got me ticked off. This is something you'll hear from liberal left-wing wackos. You can tell immediately when you hear it. They didn't come out and say it. They went, these are the same waves used by the military. Because, yes, when I was in the Navy, we all sat around figuring out how to ruin your life. Actually, we didn't. The only thing we sat around doing was figuring out how to kill Russians, because they were the enemy at the time. It was the Cold War. And thank God it never came down to this, because we wouldn't be having this conversation. It'd all be over. But the boys in the military, the 2 million people that this woman just insulted in a sideways, liberal, left-wing manner, which is, the stuff they teach in college. The military-industrial complex is out to ruin your lives. Let us do your thinking for you. Those are the people who are dangerous. The Nancy Pelosi's, the Democratic Party in general, the socialists. They think they know a better way for you to spend your money, and you should give it to them. Enough with the politics. But it did tick me off, because the finest 2 million or so people in the country right now are probably not in the country because they're off on a ship. They're over in Afghanistan, they're in Iran, they're in Iraq, they're on a Navy SEAL team someplace we don't know about, and they're never going to tell us. So you have the freedom to listen to bullshit and create bullshit for people to listen to. So when you start throwing insults that are obviously a slight towards the military, you got my attention. Big time. Them boys in the military, them young kids, they didn't go in there to, we're going to run the world. No, they don't want to run the world. They want you to have the freedoms that are shown in the Constitution, your Bill of Rights, one of which is to not be offended, or just... It's not a right to be, you don't have a right to not be offended. Sorry, I had trouble spitting that one out. Check your Constitution. It's very small. You can read the whole thing and be less ignorant. Don't let people in Congress and the media tell you anything. Don't believe everything you hear on the media, because those who can do, those who can't teach, and those who can't do a damn thing, and amongst the most ignorant people on the face of the planet are journalists. They just talk. They got no clue. So hopefully this straightens out some of those health concerns. You will see videos from a guy who goes, I'm a doctor. Yeah, well, I could go to 4 years or 6 years of college and get a doctorate in philosophy and call myself a doctor too if I was an arrogant prick. If you're not a medical doctor and you don't specialize in what we're dealing with here, you're full of shit. So let's leave it at that. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I'll come back with something actually technical that applies to devices like phones and laptops and that kind of crap later today, I hope. If I don't find anything, well, I'll have something tomorrow. Bye.